welcome to Granny Shift, and I'm Ryan.
And I'm back.
You're back. How was it?
How was what?
Your vacation.
I wasn't on vacation. You were on
I was
vacation.
on vacation. That's right.
Jeez.
How was your Father's Day? Happy Father's Day.
Good. It was just another day, you know.
I hear you. Did you spend it with your children?
Every day is Father's Day when you're a male with kids.
Okay.
I did.
It's always confusing. Like, do you spend Father's Day with the people that made you fathers, or do you honor fathers by not making them be fathers on Father's Day? Right?
Yeah, that's what I do for my dad. Try not to bother him.
Right.
Well, and he was at his father's house. It was just it's messy. It's always messy.
Yeah.
And not like well defined the expectations. I feel like. So
it's like on Valentine's Day. I don't spend it with my Valentine. I let my Valentine,
it's time apart because you've taken her on dates all year.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to bother her.
So
it's her special day.
In bed with her all year, so you sleep alone that night. You go out to dinner alone.
Right.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She spends way more when it's just her.
Oh. Yeah. Gotta watch that.
It's almost like two people are eating.
Oh, that's weird.
That is weird. But yeah. Anyways, so Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Yeah, a week
late. But I was gonna bring something else up.
Okay.
Oh, luckily I went on vacation, so I was able to create a new summer Granny Shift and design.
In your extreme boredom, you did some design work.
Yeah. So we got a new
first draft. Boom, shot that down. I said no.
Jason hated it. He's like, I don't understand. So I was like, okay, I guess I better keep working on this.
Here's where I was at with that. I was like, this is a cool design, but like we're a Fast and Furious podcast. We're not a T-shirt design company.
Right.
So you came up with a T-shirt that looked cool. I was like, if it said like Ryit Media under it, or what's your design company? Logoed or something.
Right.
I was like, that's perfect. But like Granny Shift, and I was like, and then I was like, maybe this is like a scene from a movie I'm missing. Maybe I'm just missing it.
No.
And you're like, nah, it's just a cool summer vibe.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then you added a Fast and Furious car to it, and it was perfect.
And then it was Fast and Furious related.
Perfect.
I wasn't sure how Fast and Furious car would fit into it.
No, it worked out, I feel like.
I think it worked. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So head to our store, our merch store.
Yep. I ordered one already.
Did you? Yeah. Wow.
By the time this comes out.
That's crazy. But it is going to be our giveaway this month.
Yes.
In our Discord. So if you don't know about our Discord giveaways, you should go join our Discord so you can find out how to unlock some premium features.
Oh.
And on to the minute.
All right.
And don't forget to check our OnlyFans for new content.
Yeah. $5 a month. Free if you're on our Patreon.
Is there a requirement for what you put on OnlyFans? Like, does it have to be like
no, it's not supposed to be.
Stuff?
Yeah. It's not supposed to be.
Oh, really?
I think it's designed as like a Patreon, and it just gets like became that thing for people.
Okay.
And because they remember like a year ago they said they were gonna go like safe for work. Yeah. And people were having like fits. And they're like, wait, we're going to go out of business?
Because there's people who make $500,000 a month. Yeah. Do you know Nick Merckx makes $300,000 a month on
what?
Twitch?
Oh, man. That's pretty good.
Isn't that crazy?
That's a lot of money.
Like, he's a pretty high-end streamer, but, like, he's good at Apex, but he's not the best I've seen at Apex.
He's entertaining, though.
Yes. And he's 32, 31, somewhere around there.
You got to be good and be a character, you know?
Yeah.
And
his character is being 3 inches from his camera.
Yeah, he's always so close. It's like a forehead shot. Go check him out, Nick Merckx. Yeah. So we're way off topic here, but I just want to say, I think professional video game is the hardest sport or profession to be a professional at. Because the pool that gets to participate and attempt that is the biggest pool in the world.
Yeah.
So, like, if you talk, like, okay, a Formula 1 driver, okay, the top guys are really good, but, like, you might be really good at Formula 1, but you don't have the money to even try or think about it.
Yeah.
So, and, like, so 99.9% of the world doesn't ever get to try to be a Formula 1 driver.
Right. Yeah,
so
exactly.
only like whatever 1,000 people are ever even have that opportunity. So it's like the top 20 out of 1,000. Now you're talking video games. Every single kid is playing video games.
Right.
So you're talking about like people with the craziest reflexes and focus and eyesight. All of those people, the top of those top, out of millions and millions of players, become the best.
Well, that's like how, 20 years ago, that was the same thing with football.
Yeah, but like football has a consequence to like the training.
Right.
So you have to train hard, get injured. Your body you need like there needs to be a physical part to your body. But I think that's true with video games too. But like there's no consequences to playing video games. I mean, kind of, it's just small. It's like if you want to be a pro race car driver.
It's bad for your health to sit there for 8 hours playing a video game.
Right.
Right.
But like if you want to be a pro race car driver, you also have to be willing to like almost wreck and die.
Yeah.
Like you have to be really good and be willing to like have the balls to do it.
Right.
You don't need balls to play video games because there's no consequence.
Right.
You just have to be like freaky good.
Right.
So.
And it's such a minimal money investment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and you don't need money to play it.
Right.
Or very little money to play it. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. You buy an Xbox and you can play games.
That's why I think the professional video game players are probably like weird freaks of nature.
Right.
That are just like.
It makes you wonder what they could do if they weren't playing video games.
Yeah.
If they weren't wasting their lives entertaining us with their skill.
Yeah.
People are like, video game people, professionals, so stupid. And then people are like, I can't wait to see what's on America's Got Talent this week. Like, this guy's like swallowing razor blades for your entertainment, and you're like, love that, but not someone who plays video games.
Yeah. All right, let me bring it back to the movie.
Okay.
Movie's about drifting, so we'll link this up a little bit. So, like, drifting is the pro drifting. Just for example, to be good at drifting, I mean, you need to practice, which requires money, and you need the money to have a team and a car and all that.
Right.
So you also need to have skill, but, like, for example, it's not like video games because there's a pro drift driver. He actually hasn't been in for, like, 2 years. Alec Honadale. He was a professional jet skier and then got tired of that and then decided he wanted to try drifting, and within 2 years was pro drifting.
Okay.
But his dad also owns a huge construction company, so they have like plenty of money.
Right.
So all I'm saying is you got to have money.
Well, yeah, drifting. You can't just like go somewhere and practice drifting unless you go to like a parking lot.
Unless you have a ton of money and
right.
you can rent
That's
a track.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a car you can wreck, tires you can waste.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Not the same with video games. Okay, let's get this minute started. Wow.
It's not much of a hobby, drifting, because it costs so much. It has to be, it's like a rich person's hobby.
Yeah. Motorsports. Yeah.
All right. So we're in minute 72 of the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Second, 0. 0 seconds into it. 12 minutes. 12 minutes into this podcast, 0 seconds into the minute. Okay.
So I'm just going to let it play for a while because
we get a lot of drifting
this minute.
I wanted to point out here, like, now's probably when Sean was like, man, I wish I would have kept this thing all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Because, like, boy, they were wasting a lot of time sliding this thing around.
Right. So, presumably, they're trying to outrun Takashi and Morimoto.
Right.
We don't know where they're going, but they are flying through a junkyard and, drifting around cars on what could easily just be a straightaway.
Right, and it's also dirt.
Right.
But it's definitely a straightaway because they're crisscross drifting.
Right.
So they're crossing into the opposite side and like weaving each other. So that means each of them are driving on the same, like there's 2 lanes. They could both be just going straight on. And they're crossing back and forth.
Takashi, we don't really see Takashi Morimoto too much in that scene. But the 7th World Flower Show?
No,
You mean translate that?
I wanted you to finish your thought. So they're running.
Yeah, and we don't see Morimoto or Takashi too much in that area, but we assume that they're following like the same drifting path rather than just
right. You have to drift, straight. Right? And then they drift out onto a main road with a lot of traffic, and there is a big sign in Japanese lettering in the background, and it says in American, 7th World Flower Show. Are you going to Google that?
It says...
Oh, he's using a translator that says overflowing flowers.
Can I go sideways?
Can you read it? Is coming to the 7th World Flower Show, 7th century.
Tenzu Dome, Yokohama City Garden Pacific, TA. Sponsor All Japan Flower Arena.
That's
Held
cool.
all at once in 6 major cities nationwide.
Wow, that's a lot of information. So
Overflowing
Ryan's using
flowers.
his camera to translate it using Google, which is crazy that they can do that.
Such a cool thing.
Okay. Let's keep watching here.
All right.
So now they're going to start.
Yeah, so they somehow made out to a main road
Yeah,
in
like
town.
a highway.
Yeah.
And there's cars everywhere, and they're just skidding by. You have the ARC-7 in the front. You have the Evo coming in behind, and then the 370Z, which is
It's more
Takashi's?
motos.
More
I think,
motos.
isn't it?
Oh, and what's the third?
It's another 350 or 370. I don't know
Okay.
which.
Okay.
Would it be a 350? You said 370.
I thought they
Did
were
370
370s.
come out? This is 06.
They look like 370 headlights. We'll try to get a better view here. I think that's a 370.
This one in last place,
That
I'm
looks
almost
like a
positive,
350.
is DK's.
Yeah, it's like the dark gray one.
Yeah.
I do like this scene because we get some cool cars drifting,
Well-
and it's like intense.
Yeah, the filming of it is really cool. It's the 4 cars drifting, moving through regular traffic.
Yeah,
So it's like 4 lanes of normal traffic, and the drift cars just going back and forth.
yeah, they're like
And
drifting.
they're not following a line. They're kind of all
Right.
over the place.
Right.
So it looks really cool. Very impractical still.
The reasoning behind it, yeah, it'd be way easier to weave safely and faster without the drifting.
Right.
Also, I wanted to bring up, like you and Molly were talking about, like why they're running away from his home, and I'm thinking like, oh, there's a nice Maxima.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that is like they're midway through the movie and they're like, okay, this is a car movie. We have to come up with some reason to have like a
Right.
car chase scene. How do we bring a car chase? And we'll be like, well, what if DK comes and threatens him and they run because he's upset?
Right.
So it's like just a setup for a car chase. And now we got a car chase.
Yeah. Because so far we've had the first scene that's not drifting, where he wrecks through the house.
Right.
Then we have his first attempt at drifting,
Right.
and then we have Neela
Like the evening.
tandem drifting.
Yeah, the evening drifting.
But
You know,
we
I guess we have him like practicing, but you don't have any like intense chase scenes.
Right.
Like this.
Yeah.
So-
The chasing doesn't make sense, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah. And whose boots were those? They're wearing like Timberlands. as
Yeah,
they're
I think those
driving.
are more motos. Maybe it
Hmm.
seems like it would be Lucas Blacks because he's a
Right.
redneck.
But Morimoto's like the wannabe cowboy, right?
Right.
I
But-
want to point out also a lot of the time they are like actually not drifting. It's like they are understeering,
Right.
attempting to drift. But this would be
Because
hard.
it doesn't make sense to drift like on a straight road.
Do you think that looked like CGI? Because that would still, even if those cars
Hmm.
weren't moving, it would be hard to like. There's a lot of things to drift around. It can be done, but I'm assuming those cars are also moving so they can film it.
Right.
I don't know. It's pretty impressive that all those cars drifting, weaving back and forth.
It didn't look CGI to me. I mean, we saw that one CGI several minutes ago of him doing that long drift on the on-ramp or off-ramp or whatever.
Yeah.
This doesn't look like CGI to me.
I guess I'm curious who the stunt drivers were in this movie.
Were they professional drifters?
Right.
Yeah.
Let me look at it quick.
All right. Because we get to the end of the minute and they're still just drifting through traffic. Like, nobody has said anything. Nothing's happened during
Oh.
this minute. So, you got some information?
Yeah. Kichi Tsuchiya. So I'm pretty sure he was the one guy that was fishing at the fishing dock.
Okay.
Reese Millen and Sam Hubinet. So, okay. If you know him, you know.
I was like, I'm assuming they're professional drifters.
Yeah, they do a lot of like commercials and stunt driving now, but they were
Okay.
pro FD drivers in like the 2000s
Mm.
around this era. So that's cool.
There was while I was gone, there was an FD event in New Jersey.
Yes.
You didn't attend?
No.
Fabian was looking for someone to go with him. He invited me, but I was not available.
I was going to take the boys, and it just didn't like. I decided against it. Like as like a guys trip, just go with the boys. And,
Right.
But No.
You think they would enjoy that?
Well, that was part of the problem. I don't think they're quite old enough, and then it's like pretty expensive, and they're old enough that you have to pay full price for it. So it's like,
That's
and then you're getting a hotel because it would it's kind of a drag to drive 2.5 hours down, sit all day in the heat, and then drive 2.5 hours back.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we'll get a hotel, and like this, it just got too expensive.
Right.
Like this,
Yeah.
I can't justify this. Our Patreons
You don't enjoy it that much.
Yeah, we got to up our Patreon fees.
Yeah.
I think
That would be a fun granny shifting thing to go to. A drift
for
event.
sure. Just me and you though.
Right. No children.
Yeah.
And one lucky patron.
Oh,
That would be
hope
cool.
it's 240 Drift Chick.
I hope it's not someone who we have to fly to New Jersey. If you can get here, we'll buy your ticket. Be like the movie. All right. Well, that's the end of minute 72.
Mm-hmm.
Any other off-topic things we should talk about?
We'll get into those next minute.
Okay. Thanks for listening. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Jason.
And always remember,
Winning's winning.